Hello friends, welcome back to the Life Reset Collective. My name is Josh. Today I want to talk about why it's so crucial to not get stuck at your job. And I'm going to explain what I mean by this. So in this life, we have bills, we have certain costs of living, right? We have to pay those somehow. And there's costs of living, and then there is the dream of what we would like to have, dream of what we'd like to achieve, the dream of what we want our life to look like, right? So there's kind of like the bare minimum, which is like, the cheapest rent, the cheapest groceries, maybe having a car, maybe not even having a car, that kind of thing, versus having the beautiful house you want, being able to eat the kind of food you want, living in kind of like luxury, driving the kind of car you want, right? So these are two very different income level things. And I want to talk a little bit today about moving forward on your life reset journey. When you start to build your life back up, where a job fits in, like where that fits in, where living minimalistically fits in, but then where you start to transition into your dreams, start to transition into the life that you actually want, a bigger life than just the bare minimum, okay? Now I want to take just a minute and talk about this channel. The goal of this channel is to empower those who have had to restart their life, reset their life from scratch. I have had to reset my life twice, both times due to divorce, starting basically from scratch both times. I have been homeless. I have slept in my car. I have gone through very many difficult situations in my life reset journeys. In the first one, I had no idea what I was doing. I was blindsided by it. And during the second one, I put together this method, and I started this channel to document it because I realized that I had a method for going through this because I'd gone through it once that could maybe help other people. So that's the purpose of this channel. If you want to get my free ebook, 9 Steps to Begin Again, the Life Reset Framework, you can find the link to that down in the description. That will show you the 9 steps to my Life Reset Framework. But as I'm documenting this, I want to take you to where I am in the process and talk about this. So when I went through my life reset this recent time this was, a divorce. It happened. It's been going on about a year now where it started. The divorce just got finalized literally like a month ago. So it's still very new. With that being said, I had a lot of things happen during this divorce. And one of the things that happened was in the middle of the divorce, at the peak of my lawyer payments, I got laid off from my job, my digital marketing job. I was working as a digital marketing project manager. I was working remotely, making really good money. And to be honest, the divorce, money-wise, wasn't very stressful to me while I was working this job because I made plenty of money and I was very good at budgeting, very good at living minimalistically, cutting back on expenses to afford these lawyer payments. And then all my income went away. In one phone call, it all went away. So I ended up getting I had been working a side night job at a fast food restaurant, and now I'm a manager there, making less than half of what I was making before. Now, I want to talk about this. There's a lot there, and I want to kind of unpack this for a minute. And here's the message for you. And that's going to be what we're going to basically cover in this video is, what do you do about these bills and expenses? It's getting more and more expensive to live out there. It costs money to rebuild your life. So what's the order of things? It's not always easy to get a great job that pays really well. It's not always easy to increase your income. So you got to start somewhere. But there's also a danger to getting stuck in the starting place. And a lot of people stay in that starting place. And I want to talk through this today. It's very dangerous. In some ways, when you're going through a life reset, you need to get any income you can. You've just got to get started. That might mean going to your local fast food place and getting a job so that you have one literally tomorrow and you get to work and you get that income coming in, right? Because you might need that. That might save your life, literally. But here's another thing. In working fast food, I've realized that these places are full of people who did exactly that. They went out and they got a job because they needed it. And now 2 years, 4 years, 6 years later, they haven't moved on. And it's keeping them stuck, right? And I want to talk through this with you. Okay. And I'm going to use me as an example here. Okay. My income being a manager at the fast food restaurant, it covers my bills and gives me nothing else. Okay. I will never get ahead with that job. Never. Think about this for just a minute. There are a lot of jobs at the basic income level in the United States where the good thing about that job is that it gives you an income. It gets some money coming in. And this is very important, especially at the beginning of our journey. But the truth is that job will never get you any further in life unless it leads you to some kind of opportunity or connection, or you get work experience from it that you can leverage to go to a different job. Okay. For the most part, these jobs are dead-end jobs, and they call them that because they lead you to a dead end in life unless you do something different. Now, I'm not saying this to disparage anyone who works, what you might call an entry-level job or a minimum wage job or whatever. I'm not trying to disparage you. I'm not trying to cast judgment. I'm literally working right now as a manager at a fast food restaurant because I needed the income, like, immediately. And so I went out and I got I started walking down the streets closest to my house, turning in resumes, and I took the very first thing that was offered to me because I needed income immediately. I got a job within 48 hours of being laid off from my marketing job. Actually, I got the restaurant job even before that, but I got the management job, like literally, I think it was why I basically interviewed for it within 48 hours, but then I got it a couple days later. So it's very fast, but I needed that income. But now that the divorce is finished, I'm in the next stage. I'm in a stage of moving forward. I'm in the stage of pulling myself out of the mud, of hitting the bottom, to now trying to climb that mountain to get to the next chapter of my life. And I've come to a point where this job is beginning the process of holding me back. Why? Because I don't have enough income to work with. I have enough income to pay my mortgage, to pay my bills, but that's it, guys. I can't even buy fancy groceries, right? I can't because I have to buy very minimal groceries because I'm on such a tight budget. I have to feed my dogs, a budget diet because I'm on such a strict budget because this job, working 40 hours a week, just doesn't cut it. And now granted, there are things you can do. You can get a roommate, right? You can do things to try to lessen the impact of that. But at the end of the day, dollars are only going to add up to so much, okay? And if you spend 40 hours a week at a job that pays, on the lower end, the truth is it's taking 40 hours a week from your process of moving forward. And we have to rectify that as fast as possible. So for me, what I'm doing is, I'm in digital marketing. So I decided I did not want to go back to work at an agency. So what I'm doing is I'm building several of my own YouTube channel businesses. This is what I used to help my clients do. So I'm going to do it for myself. Only difference is I used to get paid by the hour doing it. Now I have to do all the upfront work so that I can get paid as the business owner a little later. It does take a while, but I am starting this process and I am making really good progress. In fact, I am every month getting closer and closer to my goal of being able to leave the restaurant job so that I can free up those 40 hours a week and double down on my own business stuff. Because the truth is, when I factor in how much I make hourly on my business stuff, I make over double what I make at the restaurant right now when I factor all of that in. And the potential goes even higher. The problem is when I'm working 40 hours at the restaurant and I can only put in 20 hours at my business, the business only grows so much, right? I can only do so much in 20 hours a week. If I were working 60 hours a week on my business, imagine how much my income would go up. But I have to be careful because I do have bills right now, and the business won't necessarily generate income right now if I switch completely over to it. It will take months to get it rolling, you see? So we have this weird in-between stage. Now, for me, the answer is I have to bide my time. I have to be patient. I have to keep working to get my bills paid. And then I have to keep working the 20 hours a week on my business. And I have to realize every day and be at peace with the fact that the business is going way slower than it could because I have bills to pay and I have to be at this other job. But I have to be mindful that if I do not have a plan to get out of that job, it's going to hold me back in my life. I'm going to get stuck at this income level. And this is not good. The American system is not set up for people in a low income bracket to thrive. And if you have ever been in a low income bracket, you know exactly what I'm talking about. This system is set up to where if you have enough money to buy great insurance, you get access to the greatest healthcare. But it's not set up very well for people like me who do not make a lot of money or have great insurance. If I want access to those amazing benefits of this society, I need to get to a certain level of income. There is no destiny for me here in this income bracket working at the restaurant. There is no good destiny for me here, monetarily speaking, right? So that's really the first thing I want to talk about is that it's really important for you to understand on this life reset journey that yes, getting a job is important. Getting income is very important. You're going to need even that baseline level of income is so crucial to helping you. Being able to get a roof over your head, get groceries on the table, get gas in your car. These are essentials that are going to really increase your ability to rebuild your life. from the ground up. But if you get stuck in that zone, if you get stuck there, this is not going to be good. And then 4 years later, you're going to be facing a different type of crisis where you never rebuilt again, or you never built beyond where you've ever been. We all have far more potential than the baseline level of income, friends. I do, and so do you. Now, it's really important that you do not take this as judgment. I'm not trying to judge you. I'm not trying to rush you. But I care about you, and I care about this journey, and I'm speaking truthfully about this in a way that everyone needs to hear. So here's what we all need to do. If we're working a job that's getting us by, but it's not providing the level of income we want or need for our life to become fully actualized, we need to make a plan. We need to make a plan to get from where we are now to that point. Now, that plan might mean beefing up your resume and going and looking for another job that pays a few more dollars an hour. That's a huge move forward. And that doesn't have to be the last move forward. You could do that several times and just keep growing your income. This could mean going to a trade school. This could mean taking classes at night. This could mean taking a course online, getting some skills, starting your own side hustle that you eventually build into your own business, right? This could mean looking for what kind of like career you want to be in, and then trying to get networks, or trying to network, get contacts in that area, right? Trying to basically work your way into that industry, maybe get a leg in the door, foot in the door. There's a question of what you want to do with your life. Does purpose of work matter to you? For some people, they want to go to work, make great money, and then go home and do the things they love. For me personally, I want to love what I'm doing for work. That's very important to me. In fact, it could be said that that's worth more to me than the money itself. So, for example, if I could make, like pretty good money at a job I don't like, or versus I could make baseline income at a job I loved, I would choose the lower baseline income at the job I loved and find a way to scale that to make more, even though I'd be giving up some money. Because to me, that time, that 40 hours a week, that's a lot of my life. I don't want to compromise and spend 40 hours a week doing something I don't love. Right now, I am doing that, but it's temporary. I had to do that to get started on my life reset journey. But I'm also very keenly aware of the fact that I don't want to get stuck there. And every single day I'm working on my side businesses to get me out of that place. Okay. So that's where we're at with that. And here's my encouragement to you today. I want you to set some goals for this. If you're in this place, you may not be in this place. You may have your career set up and you might be good to go. And that's awesome. But for those of you who are thinking, I'm not at the level of income I want to be. I am not in the job I want to be in. I'm not in the career I want to be in. And honestly, I am a little stuck. I'm stuck in a job I don't like, or I'm stuck at a job that barely pays the bills, that's never going to get me ahead. This is another thing. If we're not in a job that we can't get ahead in, save money, save for retirement, get better insurance, if we're not moving into these things in our job, if we can't afford to even do this, we are stuck. The job doesn't pay enough for your future. Maybe it's covering your bills right now, but it is not paying for a future for you, right? Really think about this, because this is so important. I don't want any of us to spend 20 years at a job and realizing it held us back from building our future, right? This is very important. As you're beginning this process, this journey, take into account that you're worth more than that. You're worth more than just paying your bills today, but then not having any guarantee of tomorrow. You can do more, and you should, and you're worth more, and so am I. I deserve to have great health care. I deserve to have a job I love. I deserve to know that I'm going to be secure in my financial future, at least within a reasonable shadow of doubt. But I also know that I'm not going to get those things given to me by anybody. I'm going to have to go out and do them. I'm going to have to earn them. I'm going to have to create them myself or find them, right? And so are you, I'm afraid to say. Nobody's coming to save you, friend. I wish they were. I wish I could point you to a resource that would save you and help you solve all of your problems easily. But it is not going to happen. And the truth is we have to do this for ourselves. And so that's why I'm making this video, to explain this concept and to help you maybe come to peace with the fact that you may have to do some work in your life to get rolling in a better direction that's going to help you have a better future. I want that for you, and that's the goal of this video. So drop a comment. Let me know what you think about this. Let me know what your thoughts are. Let me know where you are at on your journey with this. I would love to hear it. Thank you so much for coming back for another one of my videos. This is the Life Reset Collective. My name is Josh. I will see you awesome people on the next one.